In 1992, Prince Rakeem was working on a song for the Rebel INS called It's Not Your Average Flow. Their group All In Together Now had recently changed their name to the Wu-Tang Clan, and its members took on new names, with Prince Rakeem becoming the RZA and Rebel INS becoming Inspectah Deck. Wu-Tang Clan had put out a series of demo tapes which were receiving play on local and college radio stations, and RZA had decided it was time for the group to put out their first single. He brought the clan into the studio and had them use the beat for It's Not Your Average Flow as the basis for a new song called Protect Your Neck. But once the 2-day recording session was finished, RZA felt the beat no longer fit the harder style of the track and decided to produce a new one to layer underneath the verses. The new version of Protect Your Neck became the group's first single and introduced a new, raw East Coast sound than what groups like A Tribe Called Quest had been putting out up until that point, and showed that the Wu-Tang Clan were going to be a force to be reckoned with in the hip-hop scene. One thing I want to point out is that although the Wu-Tang Hulu show shows RZA producing this track on an ASR-10, I can guarantee you that it was actually done on Insonic's previous sampler, the EPS-16 Plus. Some of the samples in Protect Your Neck were recorded at a pretty low sample rate, like this one. This is possible on the EPS-16 Plus, which can sample all the way down to 11.2 kHz, but not on the ASR-10, which can only sample in either 44.1 or 29.8 kHz, neither of which will produce very much noticeable artifacting. While researching the track for this video, I managed to discover the piano and bass sounds RZA originally used for Protect Your Neck. Back when the EPS-16 Plus was released, Ensoniq included a 15-disc set of floppies called the Essential Sound Discs, which had pre-made instruments on them. For the piano, RZA used Steinway 1 from disc 7 of this set. And for the bass, I'm pretty sure he used the nylon guitar sound from disc 10 with a low-pass filter added. So now let's start grabbing our samples, and we'll get the drums first. The main sample comes from Hard to Handle by Otis Redding. We're gonna grab the stereo version of the track and only use the right side, so I'll disconnect the left audio cable since the EPS-16 Plus only samples in mono. The drum sample we want starts at 4 seconds in the song. Now we're actually not just gonna do a straight loop here. For this track, RZA has the sample loop partway through, then start over again, which we can do on the EPS-16 Plus by turning on forward looping and setting the amp envelope to cycle. For most of the samples in this track, RZA pitched them up by 50 cents, so we'll do that here. So we've got the main drums, but RZA actually sampled another song for the snare. The snare he used comes from the classic drum break Impeach the President by the Honey Drippers. This song also has its drums panned all the way, so we'll grab just the left channel this time. And we'll also bring our sample rate down to 14.8 kHz to darken the sound a bit. Let's chop that snare out. And we'll pitch this sample up by 50 cents too. And now we'll use the 3-pole low pass and 1-pole high pass filters set to 76 and 80 to give us the sound we're looking for. So that does it for the drums. Now let's move on to the other parts we need. The main melodic samples for Protect Your Neck come from the song Break Your Promise by the Delphonics. Both parts of the sample we need come just at the beginning of the song. We'll pitch this whole thing up by 50 cents, then use the 2-pole low pass and 2-pole high pass filters, set to 89 and 150 to cut out the low end. And now we can chop this sample in half to get the 2 parts we need. Now let's go ahead and get that squealing sound that plays intermittently throughout the song. It's actually a horn sample from the song The Grunt by James Brown's backing band, the JBs. We'll again get the stereo version of the song and only sample in the right side so we can isolate the horn more. We'll also bring our sample rate down to 12.8 kHz to really give it some crunch. Let's use the same filters as before, set to 84 and 150 this time, and we're actually going to pitch this sample down by 30 cents. Next, let's grab that weird sound that plays just after the intro of the song. It actually comes from Apache by the Incredible Bongo Band, one of the most popular drum samples of all time. Let's bring our sample rate all the way down to 11.2 kHz to really mess with the sound of this sample. The part we need comes at 1 minute and 47 seconds. We'll pitch this one up by 25 cents this time and use the 3-in-1 pole filter set to 157 to try and remove the guitar as much as we can. And now we actually need to grab another sample from Apache. Just before the end of You God's verse, you can hear a single note sample play. This is the first snare from Apache, so we'll sample that in as well. We'll also pitch this up by 25 cents and use the 2-pole filter set to 175 this time. For the album version of Protect Your Neck, RZA made the choice to censor all cursing in the song with a sample of the guitar used in Rock the Bells by LL Cool J, so we can grab that too.
J is hard as hell. Battle.
We don't need to do anything to this sample other than play it at a lower pitch. The last things we need are the 2 samples from the film Executioners from Shaolin. The string sample comes in at 50 minutes and 24 seconds. For this sample, we'll pitch it up by 50 cents and use the 3-in-1 pole filters, both set to 80. The fighting sample comes at the very end of the movie at 1 hour 33 minutes and 32 seconds in. We'll also bring our sample rate down to 12.8 kHz again to give it some crunch. All we need to do for this sample is add the same filters as before and play it at a lower pitch. And that's everything we need to make Protect Your Neck. RZA sampled 6 different songs and a movie here, which is pretty impressive considering it was released only a year after his first credited song as a producer. Now that it's all tracked out into Logic, we can hear the final product. One finishing touch RZA added was a fairly standard 808 over some of the kicks, which I wasn't able to find on any of the essential sound discs, so I just went ahead and added one. And that's pretty much it for this video. Some of you were asking when I did the Shook Ones Part 2 video if I could go through the post-production and show what effects I used. Well, you're in luck because right now on my Patreon is a video explaining all of that for this Protect Your Neck remake. So if you want to hear how I made it go from this to this, head over to my Patreon now at the link in the description. The complete stems for this remake are available there as well, so go check it out. Shout out to all my patrons.